Issue currently going on amid the raging debate on the 5 billion naira presidential yacht to be procured by the federal government. The Nigerian Navy has affirmed that it had taken delivery of the yacht. So what's your reaction to this public outcry surrounding this sailboat?
Actually, um, people are not happy. There is so much hunger in the land. Our people are in serious as a result of the economic downturn. The depreciation in value of our currency has ensured that goods and services are much more expensive than they used to be. And petrol, gas, diesel, name it. Prices of goods and services have skyrocketed. Prices of consumable items, including food, have skyrocketed. So Nigerians are grappling with existential issues. They are grappling with life at this time. So when people hear that our lawmakers want to buy SUVs that will cost in excess of 50 billion naira, and then they heard about a presidential yacht, of course their blood will boil. President Tinubu never asked for a presidential yacht. This particular yacht was a pre-May 23, May 2023 budgetary item. They had budgeted for it. The previous administration perfected the deal to bring this in. Unfortunately, the Navy has received it, but it has not been paid for. That is the fresh evidence coming out of this whole unfortunate saga. And when it was requested for, it was predicated on 435 naira to the dollar. Today, it's more than 700 naira to a dollar, even in the I and E window, which is the official channel. And in the parallel market is above 900 naira to a dollar. Although the last 48 hours, the naira has been doing quite well against the dollar, which is good news to an extent. Now, with the value, with the current exchange rate at the region of 700 to 800 naira per dollar to a dollar, the Senate and the House of Reps, they were worried about the cost. The cost has gone up tremendously. It used to be 435 naira to a dollar at the time that the demand was made. Now, we have found ourselves in a very difficult situation. Since this has been delivered, we have got to pay. We have got to find a way to pay. Although the National Assembly, the House of Reps, Appropriation Committee, led by Honorable Bichi, removed the 5 billion that was set aside for the yacht and added it to what was appropriated for student loan. But it doesn't solve that problem because we have since the yacht has since been delivered. It was in fact delivered sometime in June. So as I said earlier, this is not a deal that was made by this administration. It's unfortunate the level of abuse that the president and his family had received. Of course, you can trace a lot of it to the extreme hatred that some people have for the first family. But I also blame the media handlers of the president this should have, this explanation should have come earlier. And because it didn't come early, it enabled people on social media to rail against the president. In fact, they said that he bought it for his son, Sheyi. There is no president aware of what we are going through as a nation today who should encourage the purchase of a presidential yacht. Yes, it was the Navy that requested for it. In many countries of the world, in some countries of the world, I think about 7 countries now. Currently, there are 7 countries that presently have the presidential yacht. Egypt, Finland, India, Turkey, Italy, Philippines, and Russia. The United States used to have a presidential yacht. And let no one deceive you. The presidential yacht is not an operational vessel. It's not, it has no military value, despite the fact that it's the Navy that actually asks for it. What they usually do with it is when military heads of state come into, when foreign heads of state or heads of government come into a country and they feel like seeing the sea, taking in the fresh air on the high seas, they put them on the presidential yacht and they move around, just to enjoy a feeling of leisure and pleasure. So that's what it's for. It's not, it has no military value. It, in operational terms, it is useless. Now, former US President Jimmy Carter was the last US president to make use of a presidential yacht. He just felt that, look, why should we be wasting taxpayers' money maintaining this expensive yacht? So he decided to auction it to private citizens who are interested. And since Jimmy Carter left office in 1980, no US president has requested for the presidential yacht. So the question is, what is the problem with Nigeria? We like doing things, we like fighting above our weight category. We are not buoyant as a nation now. We are taking loans all over the place. We can't even service our debt the way we should, because the cost of servicing our debt is actually even higher than the revenue that is coming into our country. So we are already looking like an insolvent nation. So why should we be talking about presidential yacht at this time? Something that we really do not need. As I said before, 7 countries. And when you compare us to those 7 countries, you just tell yourself, why shouldn't we prioritize other things? I think that the mistake has been made. The former president was misled to allow that transaction to go on. It has come into our country. We are doomed to accept. You can't send it back. So we will still have to look for money to find a way to pay for that presidential yacht. But my advice to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is to look critically at how he can reduce drastically the cost of governance. As long as the cost of governance continues to rise, as long as we spend so much money taking care of the expensive lifestyle of the people that we elected into office, the people of Nigeria will feel that the government of today is completely detached from the pains that they are going through. And I don't want to believe that we have a president who is simply aloof, who is simply unconcerned about the pains that our people are going through. Mr. President must move quickly to reduce the cost of governance so that we can free funds for much more important issues that have to do with governance so that we can free funds to make growth and inclusive development possible in our country. All of these things, releasing more than 50 billion for luxury automobiles for our National Assembly members, and buying a yacht, that we really do not need. The first family does not need it. Those things are
That's right.
not what Nigerians want to hear at this time. If the government continues to permit wasteful expenditure, Nigerians are going to turn against the government. Even those who genuinely like the president will give up on him and tell themselves that, look, this president does not feel their pain. So Mr. President has his job cut out for him. He has to move quickly to drastically reduce the cost of governance. I know these are early days. Usually, you allow things to stabilize before you take far-reaching decisions. But has reached that point in our country that we must drastically reduce the cost of governance.